Hey Leo, I'm doing a reading for you for the new moon in Sagittarius. Leo, I feel like there's a space here where you're really going into the dark side. Like, I feel like there's a space where you're really looking into the mirror. You're a lot more emotional. Like, you could just be watching TV and you're like, like crying at their like stories here as well. There's a space where things are just moving you in a way that's like really showing you how deep your emotions really run, right? There's a lot of things that you're healing for yourself. I feel like there's a lot of different people coming in and trying to like almost like push forgiveness, push apologies, like have these understandings here with yourself, right? Leo, allow these conversations to play out. Yes, I feel like it could have been people that have hurt you before, but really allow these people to come in and accept what it is they're trying to give to you here as well, right? They're coming in because I feel like there's been a space where they could have like realized how much they took you for granted, how much they really love and adore you. And I feel like there's some understanding within themselves here, some healing work that's going on within themselves that's almost moving you to a space of forgiveness and love, right? With that being said, Leo, I feel like there could have been something that really affected you around this time of year, right? And I feel like, oh, scratch my nose there. I feel like there's been a space where something really could have hurt you. And I feel like that yes, it pushed you to have like your boundaries up. I feel like there's a space where you're just almost not accepting love at this time. You're wanting love, you have love for other people. I feel like there's a space here where you could have like almost professed your love to somebody and I don't feel like you got the reaction that you were necessarily wanting. So I feel like you really backed off. Like you really hit the brake instead of going forward with the gas pedal. Like you are understanding like why you've been so restrictive, why you've had so many boundaries, why you've had so many walls up at this time. You're understanding like who you are, like what it is you're trying to do here for yourself, and why you've been like neglecting your needs and wants. Once again, I feel like there's been several different people where once again this time of year, it could have been some years ago as well too, maybe 2 3, right? There's been a space here where you're just not willing to get hurt again. Like I feel like there was several different changes in your life, right? In this time of space, in this time of year, and I feel like you know that something's coming, but you're just uncertain. And I feel like it's a space here where you're just not trusting and allowing yourself to move forward. I feel like I feel like you're here and there's another energy that's coming in, and I feel like there's a space of like distrust. Like you want to move forward in the situation, but I feel like there's been so much judgment, so much finger pointing on the other person here where it's just not adding up for you. And I feel like that's almost like closing you off to like the love energy that you're really receiving, that you're wanting to receive for yourself, right? Leo, there's a lot of compassion, there's a lot of forgiveness, there's a lot of understanding that's coming into you at this time. Just allow yourself to like really feel what it is that these people are trying to do here as well. There's going to be a space where you're understanding why you've been so restrictive, you're understanding why you've been so closed off. And I feel like once you are truly seeing this, like having faith and trust in the universe again to really allow yourself to let go. I'm seeing the full card here as well. Allow yourself to feel the risk. Like that's what about like the human experience is about. First out, we have 5 of Cups. Once again, I feel like there's been a lot of separation, a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort you've been working through, a lot of confusion here. It could be involving a love situation, somebody you really care about. And I feel like once again, I feel like there was a space where you could have like professed your love to somebody. You could have really told them like your true feelings here as well, and it was not reciprocated. So I feel like there's almost like a space of embarrassment. Like you're like, get as far with me as you can. Once again, you're a lot more emotional than I think that you're necessarily wanting to be, right? And we have the 5 of Wands. Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of chaos and confusion. We have 2 5 sandwiching this Knight of Cups here. There's been a lot of confusion involving love situations. And once again, I feel like there's a space here where instead of allowing things to happen, which could be really beautiful, it could turn out so great, so wonderful here as well. You're almost like putting your guard up. You're putting your hand out like, nah, don't come any closer. Like, I'm not willing to get myself hurt in these situations here any longer. Oh, thank you guys for liking. And then we have the World. If there's been any like once you have the understanding as to why you're reacting this way, and I feel like these things are like almost coming up for you to like really work through. You're putting an end to the frustrating chaos. You're putting an end to the situations here, right? And we have the 2 of Swords. Yeah, I feel like there's a space where once again, like you're like look how strong your boundaries are. Like you have emotions, you have feelings here as well. But you're really restricting anybody from like peeking in. Like you don't want to have these tough conversations. You don't want to go through the work here for yourself. There's been a space here where you've really just been like, ugh, like almost absent involving your own feelings. You're like focusing in on other things to avoid what it is that's really like the matter, like what's really wrong with you, what's really causing the problems and issues, and that's coming to an end. And the quicker the quicker you're ending like this restrictive energy, I feel like there's been a lot of different people that you've been blocking at this time. Once you, sorry guys, once you have the understanding as to like why you're doing this, like you're helping yourself move forward into a brand new opportunity here for yourself, right? Quit hiding your true emotions, quit hiding your true feelings, quit hiding what it is that you're really like tapping into at this time, right? It's okay to speak how you really feel about certain people, certain situations. Hey, good morning. And then we have the Nine of Cups. Once again, I feel like there's been like a fear space, a worry space, like just not wanting to go into what it is you're really wanting. The quicker that you're like, no, like I'm gonna feel my emotions, I'm gonna do what I need to do here for yourself, the better that these opportunities are coming in. And I feel like it's gonna be your wish fulfillment. Allow people to come in, allow them to give you the space here as well. And we have the Strength card. Here you are. The more that you're like, get it, like check where your Chiron is at this time, right? The more that you're moving away from like the pain, the issues, the struggle, like you're strengthening yourself. You're coming into like your own true nature, what it is you're trying to do for yourself here as well. And the more that you're doing that, the more that you are tapping into like these analytical blurbs of like your emotions here as well, like why you're really feeling these ways, like the better it's going to help you like really get connected to yourself here as well, right? Friends only, no more relationships. And then we have the Queen of Cups. There could be a Queen of Cups coming in for you at this time. I feel like this is this could also be your energy here. I feel like there's a space where once again you're not willing, you're not wanting to get tapped into your emotions, you're not wanting to share your emotions with other people, right? And then we have the High Priestess. You know why, but I feel like there's almost a space where you hadn't been acknowledging why you were like feeling this way, why you were doing these things. Moving forward, you're going to have complete understanding. And like you said, friends only, no more relationships. We have the Eight of Pentacles. You're pushing yourself into a space where you're focusing really on like what it is you're trying to do here for yourself, right? Yeah. I feel like there's been a space where you've really just been working instead of relating, right? Super cool vibe, thanks. And then we have the Two of Cups. I feel like there's been a space where you're really like pushing yourself into like your workspace. Like I feel like there's going to be a lot of new agreements here that are coming up involving your work. I feel like you're really excited. Like, you know what it is you're trying to do. And then we have the Three of Wands. Like, you know what it is you're trying to do. And I feel like that's almost like now that you have this understanding as to like why things have not been working out in like your personal relationships, like I feel like it's almost been friendships here as well. There's just been like a lot of like frustrating like tension, like just like weird energy here for yourself, right? And then we have the Page of Pentacles. Moving forward, you're only going to offer yourself, you're only going to offer like connections, agreements here with people that are like truly coming in and wanting to invest in you. I feel like there's a space here where you've almost been like settling for people who had nothing to give you, right? Like they didn't even want to give you anything. Like I feel like there was a space here where you were almost, I don't think it was you, Leo. I feel like they were almost like using you for the opportunities that they could have gotten here for themselves. And then we have the Ten of Cups. You're only signing papers, you're only having agreements, you're only starting new conversations, new love interests here with people that are really wanting to show you how appreciative they are, how much they love you here as well, right? And the more that you're like finding this value in yourself, like the happier you're gonna be. Like, oh, scratch my nose there. I feel like there's a space here where you are wanting joy, you are wanting peace. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Here you are, Leo. You're manifesting these types of relationships into your life, and you're not settling for anything less, right? Like you're not willing to ooh, scratch my nose there again. I feel like there's a space here where you're just not in the same space that you were 6 months ago. You're not in the same space that you were a year ago. You're not in the same space that you were 2 years ago. And I feel like the more that you're having this understanding here as well, it could be involving a Virgo. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you have a happy holidays too. Yeah. And then we have the Page of Wands. Moving forward, I feel like you're going to be a lot more smart about how you're treating your own energy, how you're treating your own body, your own thoughts here as well. And I feel like you're going into a space where you're really manifesting yourself out of like certain situations that could have torn you down, right? Once again, I feel like you had been involved in situations that instead of allowing you to feel free, I feel like you were very heavy, like very heavily bogged down, like almost like a lethargic energy, a lethargic feeling here as well. And then we have the Sun. Once you have some understanding as to like what's been holding you back, like why you're going in these directions, why you're doing these things here as well. And then we have the Ace of Swords. Like you're finding out your own truth. And the more that you're doing this, the more you're allowing yourself to really be set free, right? Like you're not accepting and allowing anything that's been so restrictive up to this point. I feel like it's almost been like yourself that's been keeping you from going and doing the things that you're really wanting to do, right? You are wanting to have these conversations. You are wanting to have these connections here. I just feel like it's been like a space of like scaredness. And then we have the Five of Swords. Like you're scared of sharing your truth. You're scared of like people like misinterpreting, misunderstanding like where it is you're coming from. Um, I feel like there's been a lot of lack of connection, a lot of lack of understanding involving you and your relationships. And then we have the Nine of Swords. Yeah. It's been causing a lot of worry and fears. And I feel like you're only like stopping yourself because I feel like there's been a lot of like past traumatic situations that you're really needing to sit through and work on for yourself. Yeah, and keep in mind, Leo, like these other people, these other energies are wanting to come in and have these connections with you. They're wanting to have these conversations. So don't like get so focused on like I feel like there's a space of like anxiety, depression here that you've really been working through, right? And then we have the Four Wands. Yeah, you're really needing to ground yourself. You're really needing to understand like what your true purpose is, what your true mission is, and stop being such a scaredy cat. Like I feel like you're almost like scared of how things would play out if you do have these conversations. But if you like look to the past, anytime you've had like tough conversations, like almost like allowing a floor space for like forgiveness here, it's always worked out. And I feel like you almost get like wrapped up and circled in your head in like 1133 and like really focused in on like what could go wrong. But I feel like there's a space here we're going to start focusing on like what could go right, and that's changing it, and that's what's like bringing in a brand new opportunity for you that I don't think you could have expected, right? And I feel like that there's a space where you're almost like going off of like the past traumas that is yeah, there's a space here where you're going off past traumas, like what's went wrong, and I feel like that's preventing you from moving forward. Keep in mind, like, yes, there's been past traumas in your life, but there's also been like past situations where you've been able to like sit down and have like true loving conversations with people where you could have asked for forgiveness, where they could have been asking you for forgiveness, right? And exactly, peace and quiet. And I understand, like I get that completely, but there's also been times and spaces where other people could have been asking for, you know, forgiveness or love. And I feel like there's a space here where it really kind of opened the sky up for you. Like you felt a lot more free once you have forgiveness and understanding in these situations, right? And the more that you're doing this, the better the opportunities are coming in. I feel like there's going to be a huge shift in your life once you are almost like accepting the world, accepting people with arms wide open instead of closed. Like I feel like a lot of like like you just don't want to move forward in situations. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. There will be a lot of like things like you're having to let go of, a lot of things that you're having to truly for a lot of things that you're really allowing like healing energy, love energy. I feel like there's almost a space where it's time for you to go home in situations, right? I mean, amen. Yeah, we have the Hanged Man and the Two of Wands. Okay, so there's a space here where you really could have like called it quits. You really drew the line. Like this is not a place where you're wanting to move forward here. A lot of separation. I feel like you could have got blood on your hands. You could have like said a lot of different things that you meant, but it wasn't healthy or helpful for another person. And I feel like you're having understanding as to what part you also played in the situation. Once you're kind of seeing the situation a little bit differently, I feel like there's a lot of like transmutation in this time, right? Yes, you know the full story, but I feel like you're almost like creating a different understanding as to like why these things really happened for you. Once you're doing that, it's pushing you into a whole new space. You're having a lot more love, a lot more understanding. You're letting go of the chaos and frustration. The more that you are, I feel like you're eating a lot of like red foods. Like you're really connecting to your root chakra. You're really connecting to like red things here at this time. And the more that you're doing that, the more that you're finding like this peace and love that we've all been given, like when we first came here. You know what I'm saying? Like we all had these like opportunities, like this childlike spirit, this understanding of the world before we really even knew about it. And I feel like the more that you're connecting with that, the more that you're gonna like experience a lot more love and forgiveness in your life, not only for you but for other people, right? Because we're all human, we're not innocent. Like we've all done terrible things, and we've all been given the opportunity to have forgiveness, to have understanding. And the more that you're connecting with that type of energy, the better it's going to be pushing you to a brand new space, right? You're not holding on to anything that could have hurt you up to this point. You're really allowing these things to be released from you, right? And you're going to be a lot happier. You're going to have a different understanding, a different perspective of the world and why you are the way that you are, right? Why other people are the way that they are. And there's almost a space here where you're understanding, like, once again, people are not perfect, right? And you're not perfect either. And so once you have some understanding as to like why these people could have reacted in this way, like what types of traumas that they've had in their past, what types of relationships that they've dealt with in the past that could have like built them to be this way, the more you're going to have forgiveness, the more you're going to have understanding. I feel like there's a space here where you are a lot more compassionate and empathetic, involving different people than you had been up to this point. I feel like there's almost been like very much, once again, that wall keeps coming up. I feel like there's been like a very selfish, frustrated energy as to like why things are the way that they are. And the more that you're releasing these things from you, the better these opportunities are coming in for you that you're really wanting, right? All right, guys, let's get one card out for how you can heal this energy. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all the awesome comments. All right. Don't close yourself off, Leo. Like, you have better opportunities that are coming in, right? Even if it means just focusing on your friendships, instead of love relationships at this time, focusing on how you can heal your familial bonds, like that's better for yourself. Oh, thank you so much. And the more that you're the more you're healing these types of like almost like relationships here, the better it's going to be for you, right? All right. One card out for how you can heal this energy. It says do the work. Do the work. It's not enough to dream or pray. You also have to take the positive action steps that you're being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. Do the work. Like, you're like there's certain relationships in your life that you're just not nourishing, you're not feeding, you're not watering, you're not putting them into like solid soil here that will really help them reproduce like positive energy, like positive fruits here. The second you're like realizing where you could be lacking, taking accountability for yourself, taking responsibility for why you are the way that you are, the more that you can have these opportunities come in where you can truly experience the life that you're wanting to, right? Like, do the work. Take care of yourself. Take care of your life. Take care of your relationships. Anything that is truly important to you, your children, your work aspects. The more that you're doing these things, the better the outcomes, right? All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.